Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Moving to Australia podcast. Today we shall explore a crucial pathway for skilled workers that comes into effect on 24th November 2024, the Skills in Demand Visa. We will break down the different tiers of the Skills in Demand Visa, discuss the eligibility criteria, and navigate the application process. We'll touch upon why the Skills in Demand Visa was introduced in the first place and the benefits and challenges, if any, that we foresee for applicants. And joining me in the studio to discuss all of this is Amitava Deb. Welcome, Amitava. How you been?
I'm good, Arun. How are you? How is everybody?
I've been okay, Amitava.
Okay.
So let's dive right in. To start with the overview of the Skills in Demand Visa. Explain what this visa is and its purpose.
It's a same work visa as we loosely call it, work permit. Some people call it work permit. The Subclass 482 visa, also known as TSS, Temporary Skills Shortage Visa. The new visa that is going to replace this, it's actually basically the same thing with a few additional changes that can benefit all the prospective applicants for Skills in Demand Visa. It's going to be known as SID, Skills in Demand Visa. A lot of people confuse that with SID, Skilled Independent Visa. So it's Skills in Demand Visa. It's same thing. Again, work permit, you need an employer. You need certain prerequisites to be met. Earlier, you needed at least 2 years of experience in the last 5 years, full-time, to be eligible in the nominated occupation. Now, there will be flexibility. Now, some of the flexibility has already taken place in 482 visa. The most significant one is the work employment, which was earlier required to be in the last 5 years. That has been removed. Now, relevant work experience, regardless of when it was gained, can count towards the eligibility, which will broaden opportunities for applicants with older experience in their field. Earlier, part-time, if it was part-time, it was not considered really. Of course, two part-time days equal to 1 full-time days, and casual was not at all entertained. Right now, of course, because of the change in the regulations, part-time and casual employment can also count towards the experience requirement. However, one has to be careful on how to put together the experience period. Excuse me. So basically, you have to count and still meet the requirements for 2 years through casual part-time as well. And largely, this was designed to address Australia's labour shortages across sectors by making the TSS visa, now to be known as SID visa, more accessible to a wider range of skilled workers from diverse employment backgrounds.
So what are the key features of the new Skilled in Demand Visa? You mentioned that it's a 3-tiered system, right?
Yeah, there are 3 pathways. So they say 3-tier. It's not like one tier is above the others. There are 3 pathways. One is a specialist skills pathway. Second, core skills pathway. Third, essential skills pathway. Let me unpack each of these.
Sure.
The specialist skills pathway is for highly skilled professionals that have the potential of earning over 135K per year. This will be employer nominated, and one does not need to nominate an occupation for it. The person, so it's kind of loosely similar to the Global Talent Visa. However, here the experience matters. One has to demonstrate that they are highly skilled. So it'll be usually those who are in Digitech or in specialized occupations. You cannot be a tradesperson to be part of the specialist skills pathway. Mainly engineers, IT professionals, and other professionals.
Okay.
Earning 135K. Yeah.
Okay.
The next one, core skills pathway. That is for those who will be earning more than 70K. The employer will have to pay 70K, and there is a list of occupations for it. Yeah.
So 70K, but below the threshold for the specialist skills pathway, right?
It doesn't have to be below that. I mean, it can be beyond that also. But core skills pathway, one needs to nominate an occupation.
Okay.
So, for example, a very experienced electrician might earn 140K, but he cannot be part of the specialist skills pathway. He is earning more because he is experienced, and he has to nominate an occupation, electrician.
But do the occupations that fall under the specialist skills pathway, have they been defined? Is there a list?
There's no occupation for it.
Oh, okay.
This is skills. No nominated occupation. That's the difference.
So how will one know which occupation would fall as a specialist skill?
You don't. That's the beauty of it. So far, we have been trying to box people in occupations. But for Global Talent Visa, there is no occupation one is boxed into. There are sectors in Global Stream. There is Digitech, FinTech, Education, Academia, all that. So similar way, we don't have further details. They might have some guidelines published how to define, within quotes, highly skilled professionals. But I would imagine someone who has 10 years of experience in cybersecurity will be highly skilled professional. But they should be able to demonstrate that.
So assuming that it could probably be professionals who are serving critical sectors of the industry within Australia that may qualify as specialist skills.
I won't say critical. You are again using a terminology which then needs to be defined. So I'll just stick to highly skilled. Whenever it's legal, you be careful of choosing the terminology. Critical, specialist, core. They have not defined anything known as critical. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Core skills, of course, it has to be from the list of occupations. This is similar to what we have now. And essential skills will be for occupations like aged care, disability, carer, those kind of occupations. Again, further information are awaited, and these people can earn less.
Less than $70,000 annually.
I'm sure there will be certain guidelines around it, so that we don't get someone for $10,000 a year and exploit. No, that doesn't work.
Are you expecting these guidelines to be published after the 24th of November?
Yeah, I'm trying to get more information online on these in the regulations. But as and when we get information, I think we can do another podcast to share those details with the listeners.
So what are the other key features do you think that would benefit the applicants?
Yeah, so there has been a few changes earlier this year on TSS Visa, which will continue. One is the flexibility to change employers more easily. So if you feel that you need to change employer because currently, or rather not currently, until these changes are made, there was certain element of exploitation which the system was exposed to, meaning the employee was at the mercy of the employer, because if they leave, that's it, they probably will have to leave the country unless they find another employer quickly, and that quickly was 2 months earlier. Now that period has been extended to 6 months. So they should be able to find employer. Now, earlier, while looking for an employer, they really could not work for anyone. Now they have the flexibility to work for anyone or any occupation until they find a suitable employer who is willing to take over the sponsorship.
Okay.
That's the key. Secondly, there will be a clearer and streamlined pathway to permanent residency.
This was not the case earlier?
It was. It'll have more cleaner and clear and more streamlined. I didn't say it wasn't there. Maybe it was streamlined, and now they are saying more streamlined. So what is more streamlined? We'll have to wait and see. But I probably would say that number one, you do not have to stick to the same employer to be able to clock up your experience period towards PR. Earlier, you had to be with the same employer for at least 2 years before you apply for PR under transition pathway of 186 visa. The other change that is going to come after the SID is introduced is you no longer need 2 years of experience. You can qualify for the SID visa with 1 year of experience in the nominated occupation.
And this has to be as a full-time employee?
Full-time or part-time or casual. But I would say if it is part-time, you have to then calculate the hours and ensure that it is full-time equivalent of 1 year.
Okay, got you.
FTE.
Do you see any challenges by introducing the new skills in demand visa in the application process? Any future regulations that you might think might affect applicants?
I think it is more flexible. The challenges will always be there, which is similar to the current challenges. Those will carry forward. If someone does not have the required number of years of experience, they will still have to find some other option, like training visa maybe. And finding an employer is the largest challenge, I would say. You cannot really apply for this visa on your own unless you have an employer who is offering you a job, plus also sponsoring you. That is the most difficult one. While doing that, please look out for exploitation. A lot of employers out there will charge you a lot of money to give you the job. They will pay you and then they'll take the money every month. I have heard about such arrangements. Be warned that this is illegal and one day you're going to be caught. So if you have to do it legally in the proper way and seek advice from a registered migration agent like me.
So there you have it, folks. If any of you need to get in touch with Amitava to discuss your current situation, please do so. Amitava's handles and phone numbers and our website details will be listed in the description of the podcast. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank
and
you.
See you next week
everyone.
again.
Have a lovely day.
Bye.